Hi everyone, Rachel Jensen here, broker owner of Luna Realty Belize on the beautiful island of Ambergris Caye. Today we are in the inbox. This is when we answer questions that have been asked by folks like you about real estate here, living here in Belize, and we get you the answers. So today we are on question number 29, and I'm going to jump right in. This is a question that gets asked quite a bit, and not necessarily always asked, but sometimes assumed that people, foreigners specifically, who are coming and moving to Belize are able to get a job here in country. So first and foremost, I want to say it's awesome that you're considering relocating your life to Belize. There are certainly going to be some logistical challenges in some case, or just general practices that you do need to know when you are moving here to the country. First and foremost, yes, I do want to say it is absolutely possible to work here in Belize, but there are some steps that you're going to need to take in order to get to that point of being allowed legally to work here in the country. Now, I think this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it. If you're a resident or a citizen here of the country, you are able to apply for and get a job in the country. However, if you are not yet a citizen or you're not yet a resident, you will have to get a work permit. Now, work permits can take a little bit of time to get. Yeah, it just depends on when you're applying and what you're applying for. But typically, I would say most people on average wait about 3 to 4 months in order for their work permit to get approved. I do want to say that it is highly, highly not recommended to work while you are here on your tourist visa. If the Labor Department or the Immigration Department finds out you are, it is possible for you to go to jail or deported. So it is a pretty serious risk, serious offense here that I do want to mention. I have heard it happen to a few people before, and it's just really not something that I would advise you do, right? Come down here. If you do want to work here, get to know the area, get to know the lay of land, get to know people. That's one of the biggest things. Networking. I know that that's a funny word to use sometimes, a little overrated word to use sometimes, but it is really important to get to know the area that you're in, get to know the people that you're in, and get to see where the demand and the need is. So many times I have people ask me for jobs or asking what sort of business is needed here. I don't typically recommend businesses just in case for some reason it doesn't work out. I don't want you to come back to me and be like, well, you told me this would be a great business idea. Come down and really see what makes most sense to you. If you are dependent on getting a job with a Belizean company when you're here, I do want to note, I want to make sure you note this, that the average minimum wage or the minimum wage here in the country is $2.50 US, $5 Belize. And so on average, a decent paying job, an office job, for example, you're looking at about $600, $500 to $600 Belize per week, 250 to 300 US dollars per week. And if you're coming down with expectations of having this grandiose salary or perhaps a salary that you're making in the States or your home country, I would say just squash that, kibosh that idea, because that is not the reality of here. If you want to be making US salary or your home country salary, then it is most advised, this is what I advise most people to do, is to get a job that they're able to take here to Belize as a digital nomad. If you're not working for a Belize company, you're still working remotely. Let's say you're working for a US company or Canadian company or wherever, just not based here in Belize, that is permitted. And you do not necessarily need a work permit for that. However, if you are planning to come down here and work, you will work for a Belizean company, you will need to have a work permit. So this circles back to that work permit that we were just talking about. What I would say is it's best advised that you go directly to the immigration department. Let me get this pulled up for you. The immigration department website, you can see the URL there. I'll put it in the description below as well, immigration.gov.bz/permits/work-permit/. And again, I'll put that in the description because sometimes the requirements, the fees, all of that is changing. And so you're able to find all of that information in terms of how you apply, what the fees are, who can apply, and make it a lot easier of a process for you. I know there are some facilitators where if you or attorney you can work with, where if you don't necessarily want to go through all the hoops and hurdles on your own, they're certainly able to help you. Do you know if you are doing it on your own, it is going to take a little bit of patience. It'll probably take longer than the 3 months. But if you are willing to spend a little bit more money, then you may want to ultimately work with an attorney. So just to give you an idea on fees, there are different fees depending on what job you're trying to apply for, and also how long you want the work permit to be for. On average, work permits are good for a year, then you need to reapply there afterwards. However, there are some that are temporary, whether it's for a temporary seasonal worker or perhaps it's for an entertainer like a band who's coming to Belize and they're playing here for a week or two. So it really just depends. But if you're a professional worker, you have a degree at university, it is good for 1 year, and this is in Belize dollars, 3,000 Belize dollars, so 1,500 US. If you're working with an attorney or you're working with a facilitator, anticipate to spend anywhere between $500 to $1,000 more for it. So I'm not going to go through all of these. You're obviously able to do that on your own. I don't need to read them out loud to you, but just so that you can see what's here. But I do want to just note that because we get asked this question a lot. And the answer is yes, it is possible, but it just takes a little bit of searching in order to get the information, make sure that you're reading what's applicable to you, and then finding a job here. But again, just recapping, if you are able to find something on your computer, be a digital nomad, I think that would probably be one of the easiest ways for you to guarantee that you would have a job here, and also ways to guarantee that you know what your salary would be, because there are some jobs here that do tend to be reserved for locals, right? So doctor, for example, that tends to be very difficult to get a work permit for, not impossible, but very difficult. And then jobs that Belizeans could have, for example, waiter, waitress, bartender, those really tend to be reserved for locals as well. So again, just think a little bit of outside the box, get a little creative, think about what you really enjoy doing. And then of course, come down here and see it. There are so many people that I've been talking to who've just never been down here before and like, all right, what job can I get? Well, first come down and make sure that you like the country before you plan this whole move down, right? And then secondly, once you get here and you realize that you do like it and you do need an income, then study the market a little bit, spend a little bit of time getting to see what's here, what's not here, talk to people, talk to expats, see what the need is, see what the demand is. And then from there, you can give it a shot. And then I do want to mention we have a new resource guide, which I'm excited about. It is our Belize lifestyle guide for foreigners. So if you're planning to move here to Belize from another country, reach out to us. It is a free copy. It's an e-copy. We'll send everything to you digitally. info@lunarealtybelize.com, info@lunarealtybelize.com. Our team would be happy to get this over to you. And we look forward to seeing you here in Belize. Bye, everyone.